Hi guys, one of my students asked for help with their works cited page, so I figured I'd just record it for everybody and post it that way. It's always there if you guys need it. I'm just going to talk through this and kind of show you how to do it step by step. This is what a works cited page should look like. It should have your header. It should be the last page of your essay or your research paper, and therefore this is why it says Brown 4. So this is the page that it will be on. Um, your works cited title should not be bolded, underlined. It should not have a special font. It looks the same as the rest of the paper, basically. Okay, so these are my entries here, and I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even though they are not numbered, I know that each one is a separate entry because it has a hanging indent, and we call this a hanging indent because it's kind of like a reverse indent. Usually when you write a paper, you indent the first line. Well, on works cited, you are going to leave the first line flush with the margin, and then the subsequent lines of the MLA citation will be indented. Okay, this one only has one. This one only has one extra line, but this one has two extra lines. So you can see that it's easy to see where one starts and the next one begins. Okay, so and you notice as well, it's in alphabetical order. Okay, so we're just going to do one really quick. I'm going to be working from some source cards that I just pulled up of a student's. I just made it anonymous. That student will know who they are, but it doesn't really matter. All I needed was some source cards to work from. So if I look at these source cards, there's also note cards, but we're not going to talk about those at all today. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This has 7 sources. So basically all I'm going to do is start copying and pasting them right into my works cited. Now, the good thing about your source cards is if you're doing them correctly, you're putting the MLA citation right there in your source card. So you don't have to do any extra work because you've already done it. Some people put only the URL, but that's really not the proper way to do a source card. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to Command C on my computer because I'm on a Mac, but yours would probably be Control C depending if you have a Mac or a PC. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to go and I just made myself a new document. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and then paste without formatting. It helps a little bit because the font size is correct. However, as you can see, it put it in weird, okay? Weirdly, I guess you would say, these are proper adverb there. By default, URLs are not divided. They're not, they're kept together because in order to click on it, it has to be together. So that's why it goes in that way. So first thing that I want to do is I want to leave this against the margin, and then all of these lines need to be indented to create my hanging indents. So if I just push tab, it's not going to work. It does that. I don't know why, but it does. So in order to do it, what you want to do is put your cursor on the line that you want indented, and then you're going to press Enter, Tab. Okay. Same thing here. Actually, you can probably just either push Enter. Yeah, sometimes if you push Enter after that, it'll just work. Enter, Enter. Now, you can see what happened is it created a hyperlink. We don't want that, so I'm going to just click on it and then remove it. Now, I still have a problem because I have this empty space right here. Whoops. This is empty space that shouldn't be there. It just is not visually the way it's supposed to look. So what I need to do is I need to manually separate the URL, okay, because it's not going to do it automatically. So what I do is I just kind of eyeball and see how long this is. I'm thinking maybe right before people. This whole line should fit here. So the way that you do that is just push space. I pressed space. Now, sometimes this line will jump right up here automatically. It didn't do it this time. So I'm going to put my cursor here and I'm going to backspace. Okay. And so I put it where it needs to go. And notice the hyperlink came back up again. So I'm going to delete that. And then once again here, I'm going to try to press enter and it does work still. Okay. And then this obviously is on the wrong line. So I'm going to backspace. There we go. this is exactly what your first citation should look like. Now, one thing I want to caution you on is if you need to go back and look at the original and see if there's anything italicized. If there's anything italicized, you need to go back and fix it here. And the reason why is because it's italicized for a reason. It's either a long work, like an article, I'm sorry, like a magazine title or a journal title or a website or something like that. If it's a short work, it'll be in quotation marks, and that's why this is in quotation marks. This is the name of an article, okay? So you just always want to make sure, go back and double check that. Okay, so I'm going to put my cursor here, and then all I'm going to do is just start going through one at a time and copying them and pasting them. Now, oops, see, now what I did is I forgot, I'm going to undo that because I forgot to right click and paste without formatting. That'll really help. It doesn't make it perfect, but it helps. Here again, I can't just push tab, I'm going to push enter tab. This one looks really good. I don't need to do any extra work for it. Now remember, whoops, see what happened? I pushed enter and here came the hyperlink. Every time I do, it's going to happen. So I'm just going to put my cursor where it goes. Oh, okay. Okay, so at this point, I just went through and continued copying from my source cards into my works cited and then formatting as needed. So I'm just going to fast forward here. All right, so you can see it's a little bit of work. It's kind of tricky. You have to, really kind of finagle with it a little bit to get it to do what you want it to do. Now let's see if we can put it in alphabetical order. We know Z is going to go at the bottom, so I'm going to Control X. Okay, and then Control V down here. Okay, so what else needs to be in alphabetical order? These two. So I'm going to Control X, put it right before the Z. Make sure your cursor's in the right spot. I've already made the mistake of doing that wrong a few times. Notice it added an extra space, so I'm going to get rid of that. JKLM, so this is in the wrong place. Control X. I'm going to put it right here. Okay, get rid of this extra space. All right, it looks good. So that's it, guys. That's how you do your works cited. It is a little bit of work. I will say that if you're using EasyBib from here as in an add-on, if you put your URLs in here and get your MLA citations and then add it to bibliography, it'll put it in alphabetical order for you. However, I just would you rather do it from your source cards because you're having to create your source and note cards so you can go back and find them and all that. So I suggest you just do that. Okay, guys, sorry this was kind of long. If you have any questions, let me know. I have no problems with you guys recording yourself and sending me an email that way because I sometimes don't understand exactly what you're saying. So if you record your question verbally, it's kind of nice because then I can know exactly what you're saying. So that's about it. I hope you guys are doing well. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I miss you a lot. Don't know what's going to happen. Everything's up in the air, but keep going, guys. Stay strong. I'll talk to you later.